A great coach. All right, the White House today commenting on Iran's support of Hamas, mincing no words on how the terror group is funded.
I think Hamas is pretty well supplied by Iran and to a certain extent Syria. I mean, these two countries, Iran and Syria, supply Hamas and Hezbollah. I mean, they're basically their proxies.
And for more on this, we're joined by terrorism analyst and correspondent for CBN News, Erick Stakelback. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, good to be here, Kimberly.
Well, many have said this is actually a proxy war, that Iran is behind this. And what are your thoughts?
Right, Kimberly, absolutely. Look, Iran acts through its proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah, against Israel. They've been doing it for years. You know, I was in southern Israel just a month ago, Kimberly. I was in the town of Sderot, right along the Gaza border, which has really borne the brunt of these Hamas rocket attacks, thousands of Hamas rocket attacks coming from Gaza into Sderot. Now, we met at a police station in Sderot. They showed us, Kimberly, the actual rockets, the actual missiles that are launched from Gaza into southern Israel, and on those missiles were Iranian fingerprints, made in Iran, all over these missiles. So it's no secret what Iran is doing there and what they've been doing. These new calls for Iranian suicide bombers, Amy Kellogg made a good point. How would they infiltrate Israel? How would they infiltrate Gaza right now? But if they did, it would be a huge escalation because, as you said, they normally act through their proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Syria. It's an axis right there.
That's right. And then let's keep in mind that it was, Iran back in the 80s that really popularized the suicide bombers. And now we're seeing this new movement to increase registration. There are young people. So this isn't like the old hardline regime. This is young people that are really being indoctrinated that want to sign up for this. Not to give blood or raise money or do things for charity, but to give their lives to kill others.
You know, that's a great point. In the Iran-Iraq war in the early 80s, Iran actually sent 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds across minefields to their deaths. They call this martyrdom. It's the cult of martyrdom in Iran. If you travel around Tehran, other Iranian cities, everywhere you look, there were murals, there are pictures devoted to suicide bombers. Iran has done it in Iraq. They did it in the early 80s. With the U.S. Marine barracks. Iran-sponsored suicide bombers there. Hezbollah suicide bombers. They're the trendsetters when it comes to suicide bombers. Even before al-Qaeda, Iran was carrying out suicide bombings. Everywhere you look in Iran, not only murals dedicated to these martyrs, but also death to America,
right.
Death to Israel, murals everywhere.
They call it martyrdom. We call it murder. Erick Stakelback, thank you so much.